What's going on YouTube? Kronos here and welcome back to the PSO2 video. So today's video, I'm actually going to be going over the new 15-star weapons that we have coming up for PSO2 when these servers pop up live. They've made this really helpful, amazing article talking about everything you need to make a 15-star weapon. And to be perfectly honest, I don't even have to make this video technically. I could just link this at people and be like, or someone asks, how do I make my weapon? Here you go. But ad revenue is a thing, so here we are. Anyway, I'm going to talk about each of the weapons really quick first, and then we're going to go over how to make the weapons themselves when the servers go live. That way you guys can jump into it. Now, I've warned people multiple times. I've warned my friends multiple times. I've warned you guys in probably videos multiple times that if you want to make one of these weapons, we've talked about how to make them beforehand. Make sure you already have what you need ahead of time, because a lot of people are going to see how to make these weapons and they're going to buy out the market because they hadn't any of this stuff prepared ahead of time. If you're one of those people that have your stuff prepared ahead of time, you can also make some money off of this stuff. So keep that in mind, because almost everything you need to make these weapons are sellable on the market. So keep that in mind, you guys that like to make money off the market. Here you go. So first and foremost, we'll talk about each of the weapons really quick, their strengths, weaknesses, what I think they're going to be useful for, and what I think are going to be a waste of your time. So I made a video about this. Maybe not everyone liked it, but I'm sorry. This is just kind of the state of we are at the moment. These are the Ophistia weapons. Of course, they're called Austero on JP. They're basically dead on arrival, as far as I'm concerned. They were great for Japanese servers because they gave you the access to making a 15-star weapon right off the rip if you had the materials you needed for them ahead of time. Because on JP, we did not have access to getting all the materials we needed to make an Atlas right off the get, or Atlas EX right off the get-go. We had to farm things you needed to make the Lumiere, then you combine it with the Atlas, and then you can make the Atlas EX. So you could not get it immediately. This was the first weapon you could get day one if you already had what you needed, because everything was already in the game. You were able to farm for it, anything along, and all that stuff. This weapon was really brought about just to, not to incentivize, but to basically provide a bit of value to the players that made the old austere weapons that weren't as useful to them anymore. It basically allowed them to take that old gear, bring it up to current. That's these weapons are great for. Honestly, the only use I find in these weapons, that I'm going to probably find in these weapons, is probably just going to be as a PP battery. If I remember correctly, this has like a potential that's based towards. Let me double check really quick. Increased power based on photon gauge sensitivity. Nope, it's not this. Increase power, create a barrier. Actually, I don't think any of these do. So actually, I might end up making the Atlas PP battery instead. This might have been full waste of time for me. Attack PP recovery. Automatic PP recovery by 30%. And attack PP recovery by 40%. Not fantastic, but not terrible, because this is only while the barrier's up, yeah? Yeah, this is only while the barrier's up, so this is actually basically useless to me. Well, unfortunately, then that kind of seals it for me as far as this weapon is concerned. It's basically dead on arrival as far as I'm concerned, other than just the fact that you might have extra materials lying around. Maybe you have extra Nemesis, maybe you have extra Raven, and you have extra Invade lying around. Honestly, the fact that I even upgraded this, to me, is a waste of money. I wasted money on this. This is completely useless as far as I'm concerned. Again, there might be certain classes that, you see something like this, and that might be some use to you. I know there's certain players, like, let's say, Forces, that aren't using Eternal Psycho Drive, that really like the shield on this and the PP recovery, or the PP reduction cost for certain class combinations that could be useful there. When you're looking at Ophistia, but that's really about it as far as I'm concerned. Next weapon, Atlas EX. Atlas EX is kind of like your baseline for 15 stars as far as I'm concerned. We've had access to making the Lumiere. We've had access to making the Atlas. All you need is 400 X cubes, and that's it. Bam, Atlas EX. Most people will have this right when the servers come up. That is why I considered Ophistia to be dead on arrival, because you can make an Atlas weapon, which is by far the stronger choice for most 99.9% of classes. In some cases, it's the best choice for certain classes. I'm looking at you, Tector. Yes, Wand Clobber is that good. Either way, kind of the baseline, very strong, very useful for a lot of classes. There are other classes that you really want this have this set up with. For example, say you plan on playing Bouncer Phantom, the Life Leech that's on the S4, or having a Life Leech on the S4 for this is almost damn near mandatory for playing that class. So I would say this is probably your best choice, even over Jupiter Tellus. Yeah, I know, crazy, right? You probably want to just, weapon swap between the two of them to keep yourself alive. But either way, this Atlas is very strong. Also, let's say Gunners, also strong choice. Things like fighter, very strong choice, so on and so forth. But with things like fighter and so on, it really depends on your S grade augments that you're using and what other weapons you might have access to, because hello Lightstream. Now, on the global servers, this is called Trailblazer Xeon. This is Lightstream Demon Xeon. I think this is just this specific version of it. Either way, this weapon is strong. This weapon is very, very, very strong. So it's kind of its gimmick is essentially it gives you 10% power base. Now we're not going to look at the plus potential, because I know some people are like, hey, look, we had plus potential on the 14 stars. What if we get them for the 15 stars as well? That's all well and good, but those plus potentials require divide quest materials, which are not in the game and will not be in the game until episode 6. Maybe they put it in early. I highly doubt it, but they won't be in the game until episode 6. So even if they are available, we can't unlock them. So there you go. So the gimmick behind this weapon, essentially, you get 10% full power. You get 10% power, and if your PP drop below 10% and you use an ability, it would automatically regen your PP bar back to full and give you an additional 30%, or I'm sorry, an additional 3% damage for 30 seconds with a 2-minute recast timer. So you go up to 13%. Doesn't sound like a whole lot, right? But it just has so much base damage on it. It's an S grade weapon. I'm sorry, it's an S-class supported weapon, so you put S-grade augments on it. And its SAF is actually one of the strongest S1s in the entire game, with a caveat. So it does depend, of course, on the weapon you have. It changes depending upon the damage type. So sword, strike boost. You have a gun, it's going to be range boost or whatever it's called, like shoot boost, something along those lines. And then, of course, the last one is going to be tech boost. But it works the same, it's just the different damage types. So you get 1% increased power for every 60 S attack affixed to this weapon. And the power gets an additional 2% damage bonus if at least 200 S attack is affixed, right? So if we look at it from the perspective of having 1% for each S attack, or for 60 S attack, you can, if we're looking to get at least a 200, at 200 S attack, we're getting what? I believe it's a 5% damage bonus. So that's just coming from one of these S grade augments. Now you do want to have all these filled out, because I'm sure people have said it beforehand and people ask me about it all the time. What if I just drop the S2 and S3? It should make it easier for you to augment. Now, why would you even consider that in the first place? Well, because you want to get up to 200 of your main stat power. Basically, this is going to be your first weapon that you actually go for an 8 slot on, just because this S1 strike boost is really, really difficult to hit without having enough slots available to get as much melee power in this case as you possibly can. Some people always say, well, you can drop the S2 and the S3, then you can go for a lower slot, but in reality, you're still actually losing out overall on damage. Dropping the S2 and S3 is all well and good, but those were damage slots themselves. For example, say you're using crit and you have a class that's benefiting on crit and you have 100% crit. If you drop S2 and S3, you drop 3 and 4% crit. So you basically drop 3 and 4% damage just to get 1% more damage. It doesn't really make much sense. So this is the first weapon that you can get into that you're like, hey, look, you need to push an 8 slot, but doing that's actually not as difficult as you might think. And we're going to go over that in just a moment. So we've gone over all 3 weapons. We've gone over what's going to be best, what's not going to be the greatest, what has options for, so on and so forth. Basically, you're pretty much going to be either using the Xeon or the Atlas EX. In most cases, I don't even think this is going to be any use whatsoever, other than just having access to more weapons and having access to more stuff. But on the global servers, I don't think this thing is even has a place as far as I'm concerned. But moving on. So first off, will it match my outfit? To my knowledge, I think you can color change these weapons. So yes, you can sort of make them match your outfit. So there's that. Talking about their potentials, it just shows them here. Of course, Dark Phantom level 3 potency increase based on the photon blast gauge. Different effects is produced for different beasts when a photon blast is activated. I don't know all of them. I don't know if they go into all of them here. Actually, yeah, here we go. So yeah, they do talk about it right here. So upon using a photon blast, gain a bonus based on the type of photon blast. Use the activation effect is marked by an emblem appearing around the character. So Helix gives you 6% damage. Ajax gives you PP or natural increased active PP recovery. Kitos gives you natural PP recovery. Julius gives you decreased damage taken, and Ios gives you PP consumption reduction. So I mean, you'd have to change your photon blast to get the 6% damage increase, which isn't bad, but again, just not really something you're going to be going for. You have better choices in weapons overall. So Kind of sad, but it is what it is, you know. Second potential of this weapon, Dark Shield. There's some passive barriers. See really quick here. The weapon being switched to has a potential to have the same type of this potential: Darkness, Shield, Darkness Ward, Sacred Shield, Enticing Ward. Don't really care about any of those. Barrier, of course, is dispelled upon taking damage. And for those who don't know, your barrier doesn't go up until you've had the weapon out for about, I think, 30 seconds. So unless you plan on using this as a main weapon, it's mostly completely useless to you. Mostly, I say. Again, some people may already have the materials. Maybe you were farming Ultimate Quest, you had stuff there available to you, and you need multiple weapons for some reason, like say multiple elements, things of that sort. You're making a rainbow palette or something like that. Nothing you really need to invest in really heavily right now, but again, not a fantastic weapon series as far as I'm concerned. For some reason, they put Trailblazer next and put Atlas after, but that's kind of weird. Atlas, I show you some of the weapons itself, and here's where they go into the reason why I said you don't even need me to explain this to you, because they literally made a chart. And then not only do they make a chart, they tell you where to get everything. Literally gave you the drop locations of all of the stuff and told you what you need. Now, Atlas has the most complicated chart, but in reality, it's just because you have to make 2 weapons that require a bunch of things. So it's not too difficult to make. We've already made Atlas weapons. It just shows you how to make the Lumiere weapon and what you need, how to make the Atlas weapon and what you need itself. We've already done this before. We did this on video, so nothing too crazy there. But basically, all you need is Lumiere, Atlas, and X cubes. The one we're going to go over is the only one that really matters as far as I'm concerned, which is the Trailblazer Xeon weapon series. So to start things off, we will need, I'm almost positive we're going to need it, but unless we can get a bunch from the triggers. Now, if you guys get triggers, it's going to be good to run them with friends and actually run your triggers together. That way you guys can get as many of these materials as you can all at once. Also, getting as many kills as possible, because getting 50 kills is also going to net you another one of the stones to make another Trailblazer weapon. So these are fairly powerful weapons. If you're looking forward to, like, say, playing Phantom as your main and you're thinking, oh, what rod am I going to use? You want a Trailblazer rod. I believe the rifle is a different choice. It might also be Trailblazer, but I do know the katana, if you want to play with katana Phantom at all, you're also definitely going to want a Trailblazer katana because of the PP economy on katana for Phantom. So anyway, you need 15 of these little fragments. You can trade in these fragments to get a Profound Weapon series. The Profound Weapons will come at plus 30. You'll need 6 of them total. You also have a chance of getting these as a drop from, actually, why am I doing this? Let's just literally go to the entire list of everything. Hang on, let's see if, do they break it down by the series? Okay, yes, they do. Cool. Let's see. Do they actually show it by the series? No, they don't. Not completely. Okay, so I'll go over it a little bit more here, and then we can jump down to the individual weapons when they show up. So like I said, you'll need 15 of these. They drop from the actual the Urgent Quest to get the Profound Weapon series. You'll need 6 of those total. You do have a chance of getting these as a drop, if I remember correctly, from the actual Urgent Quest. I don't think, see, the Void, the upcoming Urgent Quest. Zero weapons, Solar weapons, Cloudum weapons, Detonation weapons, Founder's Amprite. They don't tell you, actually. So this isn't complete, unfortunately. This is decent, but not complete. Because what they're missing in here is that not only can you get these for trading in the fragments, you can also get this as a drop from that upcoming Urgent Quest as well, or the trigger that we're going to be getting for it. Now, you do need Detonation, Claudem, Uller, and the Zero Weapon series, all of these, but it does not matter what weapon of that series that you get. That's very important. So you can choose any of these. Now, it does tell you these can be all purchased with Rising Weapon badges. The one thing to keep in mind, we purchase things with Rising Weapon badges. It depends. I don't know if they're in there right now. I haven't looked. I haven't really been paying too much attention because I didn't play a ton of PSO2 this week. They may not be here yet, but if they are, they should be there by the time this goes live on the servers themselves, but they might be plus 30. If they are plus 30, keep in mind you want to get them to plus 35, so meaning you're going to need multiples, so dupes of each of these to get them plus 35. But they have been dropping from things like, let's see, so they've been dropping from Bewitched Woods, which is nice. I expect these to go up in price almost immediately. I'm probably going to log into the servers and buy mine as soon as I possibly can. I may buy duplicates because I might make more than one weapon, but that is besides the point. So either way, you can buy these off of the market. It looks like all these have been dropping from Bewitched Woods. The yellow weapons have been dropping from Queen's Nightmare. Cloudum weapons have been dropping. Actually, Cloudum weapons, it doesn't look like they have been dropping. I do believe these drop from Omega Luther. Might be wrong about that one, but I do believe these also dropped from Omega Luther. This is going to be dropping from the new Urgent Quest. Actually, this is Hostility. Hostility was the old one, I believe. So these also have the chance to drop there. And then, of course, Bewitched Woods, and then the Zera weapons dropping from Bewitched Woods. So either way, good stuff there as far as getting your weapons. You want to pick up all these weapons itself. And then, of course, you're going to get more of these Void Fragments. Again, these Void Fragments are dropping from the Urgent Quest. You're going to get tons of them, so don't worry too much about these these costing 15, but these being 150. By the time you're able to make this weapon, you're probably going to farm him enough, so it's not really a big deal. So you take all of these and you turn these into the Starquake weapon. And with 400 X cubes, the Starquake weapon, and the Founders Amphrite, you make it into your Trailblazer weapon. So not too difficult of a process overall. It'll be a lot more cohesive when I can actually do it, in a video and show you guys, step by step what you're doing and what you're making. Once I figure out what Lightstream weapon I actually want to make, because I don't need it for a dual blade. And as a jet boot, it's going to be definitely a good choice. However, I'm not using jet boots for my primary damage source. It's kind of just a backup weapon. And it's a lot to invest in a backup weapon, to be perfectly honest. And hey, if you're someone like me where you may not need a Trailblazer weapon, you might be able just to pick this stuff up and sell it. Or maybe make it for a future class. Because Lightstream weapons, or I'm sorry, the Xeon weapons are going to be useful in the future. Since I did mention they do have that plus potential. When you use that plus potential, because of how much power they gain, you're actually going to be able to use these again, being a really good weapon choice in the future as well, once those are unlockable. So anyway, guys, hopefully that was helpful for you. If you guys have any questions about these weapons themselves, feel free to toss them in the comments below. Also, if you guys have any other tips of other ways you might be able to use these weapons, maybe you have a way of using the Alphystia weapon that I don't know about. But as far as what I'm looking at, I don't think it's for me or for anyone else other than anyone who just happened to have a bunch of these weapons lying around in the first place. And even at that point, I believe where are they? The Ares weapons were selling for a crazy amount anyway, so either way, maybe I think you'd be able to make more money off of it. And I feel like it'd be more worth it there. I started rambling. Anyway, toss it all in the comments below, guys. Like on the video is much appreciated and absolved of half of your ad block. The other half is absolved by subscribing. Both are completely free and help me out a ton. Click on the bell icon if you guys want to be notified of when any videos go live or any community posts that pop up. Hop into Discord if you guys want to hang out with us over there, or follow me on Twitter if you want to keep up with any of my random thoughts throughout the day. Thanks again for watching, guys, and I'll see you all in the next video. Take care. Peace out.